Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Did y'all hear AK Daddy is running for Congress? I swear this guy will do anything to avoid finishing the AK-50.
Okay, so let me tell you about this little game we play.
In all seriousness, the man Brandon Herrera is running against is Tony Gonzalez, who had a 100% rating from the GOA, but recently voted for some control freak nonsense, including the Bipartisan Gun Control Act from last year, as well as a Salty Boy ban, which only one other Republican voted for. Gonzalez may not be the weakest Republican on gun rights, but he's definitely the weakest in Texas and a good target for primaries. Win or lose, Brandon is sending the message that politicians who want our votes will need to earn them. You know we don't simp for parties around here, and I don't want to muddy the waters with other issues, but I urge you to never, ever cast a vote for a politician who has compromised with the control freak agenda even a little bit. The right to bear arms is the most important issue for me because I believe the right to resist violence, the right to say no, is the most fundamental human right. Now, I don't know Brandon Herrera's position on a lot of other issues, but I know where he stands on my right to be armed, so if you live in Texas District 23, I urge you to vote for him in the primary on March 5th. And even if you don't live in Texas District 23, please tell everyone you know to vote for Brandon. Then go to BrandonHerreraForCongress.com and donate generously. Let's go, Brandon!
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by SpringfieldArmory.com. Check out our review of their new St. Victor on our new gear review channel when you're finished here. As always, links down there in the doobly-doo.
New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. The striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
And by TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned all-American night vision just like Mom used to make. A couple of weeks ago, we reported on Gavin Newsom's plan to pass a constitutional amendment to invalidate the Second Amendment, and this Monday, his office published a press release calling it a right to safety. Now, some folks on our side have suggested there is no such thing as a right to safety, but I disagree. You do have a right to be safe. That's the purpose of the Second Amendment, if you so choose. You also have a right to be dangerous and jump out of planes if you want. But just as your right to free speech doesn't obligate anyone to provide you with ink and paper, your right to be safe doesn't obligate anyone to protect you, nor could they if they wanted to. So, is Newsom's plan legal? Well, of course it is. Will it succeed? Bruh. Gerard Butler's wife has a better chance of making it into the second act of his next movie than this does of passing, even with his cringy attempt to stir emotions over 9/11. In the time it will take to pass our right to safety resolution calling for constitutional convention, more Americans will lose their lives to gun violence than were killed on September 11th.
9/11 was bad.
I mean, he's technically right, because it's never going to pass, so every American living today will be dead before it passes. But come on, champ. You lose more people every year to traffic fatalities just in California. Not that guns ought to be treated like cars, but let's just imagine guns were regulated like motor vehicles for a moment. Anyone can purchase any car they wish, manual transmission or fully automatic, with no restrictions on engine displacement or fuel capacity or anything else. And you can do anything you wish with it on your own property, regardless of age or criminal history. You can transport your motor vehicle across state lines at will, either openly on a flatbed trailer or concealed within an enclosed trailer. You can race it on private tracks, or should you choose to use public roadways, you can pass a simple safety test.
You're in luck, Anderson. The cup was empty.
Pay a nominal fee and have a license issued on the spot that day, which is recognized in all states under the full faith and credit clause of the U.S. Constitution. No one is required to have a license, to register their car, or to carry insurance to own a car or to take it wherever they wish. The only time any government restrictions come into play at all is when you wish to operate your vehicle in a public place. So if we wanted to treat guns like cars, it would mean no more background checks or age limitations. Anyone can buy any gun they want and carry it wherever they please. Should they wish to shoot their gun on a public range, they would need to pass a basic safety test and pay a nominal fee, but the range is supported by taxes and open to everyone. I could live with that. What do you think? Should we treat guns exactly like cars? Illinois Governor Jabba the Prick signed another grossly unconstitutional bill into law over the weekend. The new law manages to crap on both the First and Second Amendments at the same time by imposing strict limits on the speech gun companies may publish. It bans marketing which depicts paramilitary imagery or anything which could be interpreted as marketing to minors. It also allows people to file frivolous lawsuits against manufacturers for the criminal misuse of their products. After Governor Prick was painstakingly lowered into position by a gantry borrowed from SeaWorld, he wheezed, "We hold opiate manufacturers accountable. We hold vaping companies accountable. We should hold Krispy Kreme accountable for what they did to my body." Despite the obvious unconstitutionality of the new law, Jabba the Prick is unconcerned because he expects his courts to rule in his favor. And I do mean his courts. Just before he signed his latest infringement, the Illinois Supreme Court dutifully ruled the Illinois Salty Boy ban to be perfectly legal. That comes as no surprise, given Jabba and his fellow defendants donated more than $1.5 million to justices on the panel, and one of them, Elizabeth Rochford, the justice who wrote the majority opinion, stumped for Jabba the Prick and raised money for moms looking for action. If you guys think it is audaciously unethical for the Honorable Elizabeth Rochford to preside over a case involving her donors and political allies, then you should call the Illinois Bar Association at 217-525-1760 and demand Elizabeth Rochford be disbarred for gross ethics violations. And now, for your moment of Zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you
pure and put American pew propaganda at the low price of free fitting?
We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you. Real talk though, I think we should nominate Mike Rowe for president against his will. He doesn't want the job, which is why I think he would be perfect for it. Who should be his running mate? Joe Rogan?